So you're aware, my name is Randy Carroll. I work with Chime Technologies as our strategic partner manager. We were able to do this today because the lovely Kelly Klein and First American and all of her colleagues were able to invite you to this lovely event with Tristan Ahumada, the founder of LCA, as well as the team leader of a multi-year top producing team located in this rinky-dink town called Malibu, California. So that's a super brief introduction. I'm going to kick it back over to Kelly to start us off, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Randy, and thank you so much, Tristan, for being a part of our program today. We're so fortunate to have you. And so, as you can see, there's people still joining our webinar. I'm sure we're going to have people continuing to join. And then for those people that are joining, we're just going to mute you, but feel free to put your Q&A questions into the, there's a Q&A box down below. And so Randy will kind of be our moderator for that today, but feel free to throw out those questions. You know, this is definitely your meeting as well. And so anything that we can do to help you grow your business and help you get to the closing table, we want to be on your team. And so I'm going to go ahead and kick this thing off. So Randy, Tristan, who's next?
Absolutely. Well, let me set some ground rules here real quick. I do want to ask everyone not named Kelly and Tristan to turn off their videos.
I did at one point. Did you do it?
And mute yourself as well. And you know what? Maybe I might go ahead and do that for some of y'all. Then secondly, like Kelly said, this very much is your event, right? So Tristan is the subject matter expert and pretty much everything virtual and all things real estate technology. He's the man, if you will, when it comes to that. But we want you to engage, interact, to ask questions. If something feels like it needs to be further discussed or we want to dive deeper into it, then please stop us and let's do it, because we want you to walk away from this without feeling like you had questions that went unanswered. So I do want to make sure everyone knows this is a participatory event. Now, with that being said, the topic of the day, the topic du jour, is ways to jumpstart your business virtually. You know, how do you come through this curve and come out better on the other side? So Tristan has been talking to agents around the world, and first with his team, about how to do this and how to do it effectively. So Tristan, I'm going to shut up because no one came to listen to me talk, and, and you please take over.
I love it. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Let's dive into this. Kelly, thanks for having me on. What you're First American, what area?
Dana, Colorado.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's get started. All right, so I have been teaching this all across the world because Zoom makes it so much easier for us, right? And so one thing that I always start with when it comes to changing the things that you're doing right now is, first I wanted to start off with mindset. And I know some of you hear the word mindset often, but you really can't pinpoint exactly what it means. So I want to start off by reminding you that there are some things that are important when it comes to mindset. And the first one is really the self-talk. And we don't talk enough about the self-talk. And I think that in itself is so important, because think for a moment about the conversations that you have with yourself on a daily basis, whether they're positive or negative. So I have this journal that I created specifically for me, where I have certain questions that take me through and make me more aware of what I'm feeling, whether they're negative thoughts, positive thoughts, excitement, happy, angry, sad, selfish, pride, all this stuff. And what I noticed is, because I do this on a daily basis, I understand how I react to certain people and to certain situations better. And one thing that I've noticed is that as humans, just from studying this and studying leaders, and also just being more aware of my thoughts, is that how we're feeling is a direct reflection of who we are and who we become. And if you don't fix this first, you're not going to be able to jump into doing something else virtually or using tech and using it to the best of your ability. So this is why when people pick up new technology or any new piece of tech or tools, you hear, oh, that didn't work for me. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no way. That was bad. Online leads, they suck. Oh no, that was pretty bad. That's what we hear continuously. And it starts with the same type of self-talk that you have when you're talking to yourself. And it sounds like this. Oh no, that was so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Why is this happening to me? Oh, I can't take this anymore. It's too much. Why is everyone against me? That's what creates the problems in your life. That's what starts creating all these issues that you have and why you can't progress and level up. So we have to address that first, and then we'll get into all the good stuff. So I want you to start thinking of changing the language that you use, change the way you talk to other people, and avoid phrases like, I'm always like this. Now that's not for me. I've always done it this way. Because you're already setting yourself up for failure. And so because I'm exposed to so many amazing thought leaders, executives, CEOs, I mean, we consult for Facebook. I consult Facebook on a weekly, bi-weekly process. And in order to do that, I need to be on my A game. They can't be listening to somebody who's kind of feeling sorry for himself, having issues, and then going back to them and saying, how did that sound okay? So I'm presenting at the highest level, and it requires my mind to be sharp on a daily basis. And so here's the key. You've got to make a habit of talking about the good things that are going on in your life. Instead of complaining about all the crap that's happening, all the problems that are happening, because guess what? We're human. We all have problems. All of us do. Some of us have more problems at certain times than others. Yes, some of us go through challenges. We may have cancer. We may have somebody that we love die. But it's a cycle, right? Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're low. The one thing we can't control is how we react to these life events, because it happens to all of us. So I want to encourage you to take a mindset of abundance and think, maybe I should focus on the good things that are happening. So when people ask me, how am I doing? Or how's everything going? Instead of taking that moment to just throw up on them, everything terrible that's happening and how this deal is falling apart over here and how nobody loves you because of this and how COVID sucks and our economy sucks or whatever sucks, take a time to think back and say, well, what is good in my life? Let's talk about that, because there's something that happens scientifically, which a lot of you may have heard through some feel-good gurus talking about the law of attraction. Well, it's not a law of attraction. That's just made up crap. It's scientific. And there's a piece in our bodies, in our mind, called the reticular activating system. And what happens is we have up to 80,000 thoughts in a day. And the way we filter those scientifically is through the reticular activating system, known as RAS. What happens is the questions that we ask ourselves daily, what we focus on daily through the questions that we're asking, what we put in front of us, who we hang out with, what we listen to, what we watch, that's what our mind attracts and says, oh, you know what? This seems to be really important to this person. Let's filter more of that in and push everything else out. Yeah, we have up to 70 or 80,000 thoughts in a day, but not all of them come through, obviously, because we couldn't do anything else but just process, and it would hurt. It wouldn't work. So That's how our mind processes this. It's scientific. And so think about this. If you want to hack your life to live a better life now and to be able to use tech and tools and level up in your personal and business life, you need to direct your mind in the way you want it to grow. Because if you keep on talking negative, if you keep on hanging out with the people that are bringing you down instead of pushing you up or pulling you up, you're doing a disservice to yourself. And so I'll wrap up the mindset with this, and then we'll go into tech. It's what Carroll Dweck said with fixed versus growth mindset. If you don't know who Carroll Dweck is, she's a leading expert in mindset. She wrote the book called Mindset. She did a lot of research going into this. So you can pick up the book. It's Mindset, super simple, Carroll Dweck. And she said, fixed is this. Fixed mindset is not what you want to have, but it's this. She says, a lot of us have it. But she says, actually, all of us have fixed mindset and all of us have a growth mindset. Just depends on where we are on this chart. Some of us are more up here on the growth. Some of us are more down on the fixed mindset, right? So here's how it looks. Fixed mindset is where you avoid challenges. It's where you give up easily. You see any effort, and that's key, effort as fruitless. Like, why am I even going to try? It's like, it's going to end up at the same spot anyway. You ignore useful criticism. You ever met somebody, you give them advice and then they don't care. It's like, yeah, whatever. That's the world they're living in. And this is the most important one, I think, in our business and just in life in general, because we see this every day. You feel threatened by other people's success. I mean, think about that. If I see Randy's killing it as a real estate agent, I'm like, why Randy? Damn it. Why not me? I'm doing everything Randy's doing. Why is he getting all that? That's how most people think. Even a small inclination in that direction is terrible. That's where your awareness has to turn on and say, whoa, wait a second. Why am I feeling that? It's a lot of envy. I should turn it around and be like, Randy, that's super awesome. I'm proud and happy to even know Randy. Maybe I should pick up the damn phone and call Randy and say, Randy, what are you doing? Because I want to do what you're doing and I don't understand it. And I think that takes a lot of awareness to be able to stop your mind at that moment and say, hey, stop feeling this because it's terrible for you. Now your reticular activating system says, whoa, let's find everybody who is succeeding and feel sorry for yourself even more because it seems like you're gravitating to that and you must like it. So you're sabotaging your own life anytime you pick up anything new because it's not going to work for you. And so when you think of growth mindset, think of one thing. Effort is a road to mastery. Your mind says, you know what? This is worth it because I'm going to learn something from this. Even if I fail, I'm learning something from this. And most importantly, is that you're inspired by the success of others. You look at Kelly, you look at other agents, you look at anybody, and you take the good things from what they're doing, knowing that everybody's human and everybody messes up. So of course you're going to find things that are wrong with them. But why don't you take the good things and why don't you learn from that? Because we're here to help each other in the long run. So the way to do it is you just surround yourself with people that you aspire to be like, people that inspire you, people that are doing better than you, because all of that's going to make you feel uncomfortable at the beginning. It's going to make you feel in some cases, because we all have to work on our mindset, just some more than others. It makes you feel almost like you're inadequate, like, ooh, damn it, this room makes me feel a little bit weird. But that's okay, because growth feels weird. And it's, to me, it's so tough every time. Like I catch myself all the time where I'm like, ooh, why is this person talking to me? I kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable. They're worth like 2.3 billion and I'm not worth even close to $1 billion. And I just feel weird that I'm around them. I mean, why am I here? But that's like a split second because your mind thinks through a lot of things quickly. And you think, you know what can I learn from this? How can I be the best possible version of myself right now so that I can connect with this person? Because I want to grow. How can I connect with this person more? What can I give so that this person can say, wow, this person has value. I want to connect with them more. And all of a sudden you start looking at the world differently. But it's not just people. There's books, audiobooks, podcasts, webinars, YouTube. I mean, the information out there is, it's everywhere, and we're bombarded by it every day. So I suggest that you really take time to practice to feel uncomfortable. And I think if you can learn anything from the last few months of feeling uncomfortable, is that leaders are in a world where they're always uncomfortable because they're pushing the boundaries. They're always pushing boundaries. And they're okay not knowing what's happening next. They're okay feeling uncomfortable with a situation because they know that that's where the magic happens. So I'm going to ask you, before we get going here on the tech side of things, I'm going to ask you to start looking for things that make you feel uncomfortable. Make you feel uncomfortable, but you know are good for you, that can help you grow. So when you think of social media, what makes you feel uncomfortable? Does TikTok make you feel uncomfortable? Right? Does Instagram? I mean, look at Instagram Reels. That's amazing. Just new. Why not pick that up? Does video in general make you feel uncomfortable? Picking up tools, like looking at Chime, looking at the back end of Chime and setting up a smart plan, does that make you feel uncomfortable? But you know it's necessary for your long-term nurtures? And if you want to get personal, does really becoming more aware of how you respond to other people or how you respond to other people's social media internally in your mind, does that make you feel uncomfortable because you realize, whoa, for a second there, I was a little envious. For a second there, I felt sad for myself. Those are the things that you need to pay attention to. Because that's how you respond to everything around you. And if you don't fix that first, no matter what you try, you're not going to be able to go in all the way on it. And we all struggle with it. It just depends on how fast you can turn it off. And that takes practice. So you're looking at technology, you're looking at what happened over the last few months. I've already been in this world for such a long time, so I was using all of the tools we needed to use. Right. So the change for us was, I mean, we were already there. We just went in deeper. When people started cutting off everything, we're like, hey, Randy, I need to pick up another $5,000 on PPC, please, because I see the world, I see what's happening. Very first month of COVID, I'm like, ooh, let's call up all of the economists that I know and see where this is heading, depending on what they're saying, what the stats are, what the information that they have is, so that I can make a better decision. That's why we were able to call it and say, oh, this is a V-shaped recovery. People are like, no, you're stupid. The depression is heading here. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Randy, let's pick up some more. And now, because of the pivot and change that we made early on, because we were paying attention, right? I didn't think with my emotions. I thought through, well, what's the information out there and who can I call and talk to that understands this world better than me, right? There was no envy. There was no emotions in that. I reached out to people that were smarter than me. And they said, hey, you should be doing this. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a look at that. That's cool. So I did. And that's why we're having like the best month ever. I mean, 20 something million in volume in 30 days, pretty insane, right? And that's where we're at. So it's because of everything we put in place. So let's talk about tech.
Can I pick something out of that real quick, Tristan?
Yeah,
Would you
sure,
mind?
buddy. Yeah.
There's something that I wanted to pick out of that. I think that was genius, and I hope everyone wrote every word down, or at least goes back and really listens to this. But something you said struck a chord with me about when you're speaking with and consulting with some of the top executives from Facebook, and you said you can't do that if you're not at the top of your game. I started imagining if you had thoughts of self-doubt, or you were speaking like, oh, I'm an idiot, or oh, how did I not do this better or that better? You know, do you think those Facebook executives would continue to consult with you if they knew that was your mindset. So I want to take that and translate that to everyone listening today. If your clients, if your home buyers and sellers could hear you in your head talking to yourself, oh, I'm an idiot, oh, I blew that, I missed this, do you think they would consult with you, or do you think they would buy or sell with you still? Right? So imagine if you walked around all day with a thought bubble above your head and everyone could see your thoughts. How would you change what you think if people could do that? So
Dude,
that was
good point, man. I'll take it a little bit further with an example that we're having right now at this moment. So one of our Google PPC pay-per-click leads, because we're all in on Google PPC. We just got one August 1st, looking at, I think it was up to about 4 million in Malibu, right? My agent, Mark, meets him up and they connect, meets up with the wife. They connect, they love Mark, he's awesome. They end up going to take a look at a home for 6 million, right? And they love it a lot. And then they're to the point that they want to put in an offer. The husband flies in from New York. This just happened over last weekend. Husband flies in from New York. He didn't like it. And Mark's outside. This is after hours and hours and hours of seeing this property back and forth. Had to go in the morning, had to go in the evening to watch the sunset on the beach, right? Malibu.
of course.
Then, of course, yeah. And then they're like, I don't like it. And Mark's like, not even split second. He's like, hey, I won't say his name, but just call him Joe. Joe, don't even worry about it, man. Look, I'm not in the business to sell you any home you want. I want to make sure that you love the property that you end up buying, even if it's a year, 2 years from now, or you don't even end up purchasing anything. I just want to make sure we have a relationship. And the fact that he could turn it around and drop a $6 million property like that without even thinking about it says a lot for where his mind is. This is what we work on a weekly basis on the team. Now they went to go see, what's that guy from Friends? Perry, something Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry just put up his home for sale yesterday in the morning in Malibu for 15.2 million or something.
You know,
That's one of the texts he gets, along with another one. They say, I want to see this. They went to go see that one. They went to go see a $10 million home that's off market. And they're like, we love the $10 million home. They originally started at 4 million. Now we're putting an all cash offer in at 10 million because they trust Mark. Mark was in the right mindset to be able to say, you know what, forget about it. He's 28 years old. All right. So he's like, dude, did you calculate the commission on this? I'm like, dude, don't even worry about the commission yet, please. Let's close it first, right?
Yeah.
And then we can talk commission. But mindset goes a long way, and it goes into everything that you're doing throughout the transaction, before the transaction, after the transaction, and not enough time is spent on that. So great point, dude.
Mark's mindset was of abundance, that a deal will get done, not scarcity that he's losing a $6 million deal.
Exactly. Good translation. I'm just going to go to you for translation.
Well, I'm very simple, so I have to use simple words and small sentences.
You know what? It's okay, because one of the writers, Malcolm Gladwell, said, look, when you write and you speak, make sure that it's in 8th grade language and written language, because that's where people will connect with you most. So very important. All right, tech. Let's get into tech. We're looking at Facebook, Instagram, definitely the ones that I would focus on, along with YouTube. You Google, do me a favor if you have a chance, Google the top most visited websites in the world. And you're going to find number 1 is Google. Number 2 is YouTube. Number 3, sometimes number 4, depending on who you're using to find it, is Facebook. The top 3, maybe the top 4. Those are all social media. That tells you that the internet is social media, because you go to Google for what? Just to search for homes, search for anything, search. It's just a search engine, right? This is why we're on Google PPC, Google AdWords. YouTube, right? That's where you go and find, well, how do you do, I mean, my kids, they're on YouTube all day, how to make a cake, how to do this, how to do a hack on Minecraft, how to do that, how to do anything, right? That's where we go. And Facebook has become a place where you go to, believe it or not, scroll through and find news. And then you gravitate to articles, right? You look at the stats that just came out 5 weeks ago, and it shows that 70% of Americans log into Facebook at least once a month. That's a huge mess load of people, right? And you know what? I didn't make that up. Let me see. I have the stat right here. Give me a second, just in case you guys want it. I can drop that in here too, because you guys will need it. We use this stat now when we're presenting, doing presentations, because the thing is, clients, buyers, sellers don't understand the power of social media. They don't understand what Facebook means when you say, hey, I'm marketing on Facebook. That means nothing to them. So when you're doing that on the selling side, pop up this and say, look, there's a recent study that's done in July or June. I think it was late June. You have 217 million Americans access Facebook every month. When they're looking at this, they understand it. Oh, Kelly, now I know why marketing on Facebook makes sense. Oh, it's the third most visited website in the world. I didn't know that. And check
Everyone,
this
take
out.
a screenshot of this right now. Write it down, take a screenshot. You'll want to use this.
168 million Americans log into Facebook every day. Every day. That's insane.
It's over a third of the country, well over a third.
Yeah, and that's why, to me, when you're looking at technology and virtual, what you need to be doing now is you need to be using technology like what Facebook created for real estate called Dare. It was called Dare as of a month and a half ago. They just switched it, but I'll give you the names. It's Dynamic Ads for Real Estate is what it was called. But according to my meeting with them 2 weeks ago, it's now called Real Estate Ads, which doesn't make sense. I like the dynamic part because it's what it is. The way that you use this is twofold. And you can go to companies like Randy's company here, Chime. Chime does it really well. But it grabs your whole database. So I have a massive database, but let's use yours for example. Let's say you have 2,000 people in your database. And you want to stay on top of them, make sure that they're nurtured, make sure that they're sent property, make sure that you're in front of them all the time, not only for branding, but so that they come back to your website to search for homes, right? So dynamic ads, what it is it just retargets them and it shows up on their feed, both on Facebook and Instagram. So anytime they're on, anybody in your database that you've put on this, now an IDX feed shows up. Let's say, Kelly, you're scrolling through and oh, there's property. Oh, it's from Tristan too. Cool, I know Tristan. And then you start scrolling through the properties because it's the MLS. It's tied to the MLS. You start scrolling, you click on it, and you're like, ooh, that's a cool 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $500,000. I like that. Click on it, and now the next time the ad appears, it's going to be showing you more homes just like them. That's why it's dynamic. It's always changing on its own, right? And this way, you don't drop the ball on nurturing them. You don't drop the ball on following up with them because, Kelly, as soon as you start engaging with it and you click on it, and then you're like, ooh, this looks really cool. I'm sending it to my significant other. Boom, sent it over, text, email. You get a notification that says, hey, this person just shared a property, right? And you can have the AI on. This is why I love AI. You can have the AI on to be like, boom, all right, Kelly, I just noticed that you're looking at this home. Do you have any questions about it or did you want to see it? And this is while you're doing whatever you're doing, Kelly. You could be watching Netflix too or whatever you're doing. You know, on Netflix, Umbrella Academy is pretty good, by the way.
Already watched it, already saw it.
Umbrella Academy is pretty good.
Big fan.
I love it. So AI, go ahead, Randy.
Well, let's just point out that this is a program that you can use for both generating new leads and nurturing your database, right? I think that's an important distinction because like you said at the very beginning, Tristan, so many people tell themselves online leads suck, and that's just a mindset they may never move past. But ultimately, this is a tool you can use to nurture your sphere of influence and your referrals and things of that nature. So if you are if you're thinking to yourself right now, I don't do online leads, I'm not going to do online leads, but I really want to take proper care of my database, my sphere of influence, my referrals, then this is still something that could be very effective for your business.
Yeah, you just have to use it for your past clients. I mean, just your past clients and your sphere. Imagine them seeing you on Facebook and Instagram on top of whatever else you're doing, whether it's sending them something in the mail, calling them quarterly, whatever you're doing, texting, I don't care. This is right in between, because now this is branding, right? And the cool thing is, for every 1,000 people in your database, it's only like $100. That's it. I mean, I don't think most people don't have 1,000 past clients. So, you know, $100. Let's just say it's $100 for 1,000 people. Now you're retargeting them every month, almost every other day or every 3 days. You show up, and you can put a video there. You can put whatever promotion you want, or you can just set it up so that they search IDX. That is important, because as we start going deeper into this, that's going to change and become even more important. And that's just for Facebook and Instagram, right? That hasn't even gotten into Google. So over the years, we had everybody's copied Google, in the sense that that's how you start creating ads to market. And so we break in this way. And I want to go over just the funnel so you understand how the quality of the leads look to people that are paying attention, right? And why, the psychology behind it. So imagine a funnel, right? Like the kind of like a little upside down triangle, the funnel. Very top, you have the Facebook leads. Facebook lead ads typically are at the very top, because as Kelly is scrolling through Facebook, boom, boom, oh, that's cool. Cousin Mary, boom, all right. Randy's having fun eating out. Oh, good, I like that. And then scroll down, you see a property ad, and you're like, oh, cool. Randy's also a real estate agent. Cool. And then click, all right. Then you start engaging. That just popped out of nowhere. And it may have caught your attention. It may have not. If it did, you'll click more and you see property, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I've been thinking about maybe moving, or maybe next year. And that's why it's considered top of funnel, because it's not purposeful in the sense that you're actually going to the internet to search. It just pops up on Facebook, and now you may or may not be interested. This is why they're usually 8 months, 9 months, 12 months or more out when it's a Facebook lead ad, typically. Now, down in this funnel, closer to being that down out here, in the middle, you're gonna find Google Ads, Google AdWords, Google PPC, whatever you want to call them. Think of the process of going to find a home on Google. Randy wants to move to Malibu. He's going to purposefully type into Google, homes in Malibu near Pepperdine University, enter. Now, that's a lot more purposeful. This is why Google is middle of funnel. They're closer to purchasing because they have more intent in the way that they're searching, right? And so even though most people treat them the same, Google leads are closer to being ready. You just have to have the right processes. So that's why we're all in on Google right now. And we still have Facebook, but we're definitely more in on Google right now. Now, closer to the bottom, or at the very bottom, when people are ready to purchase, they typically go to a real estate website, realtor.com, Zillow, in some cases Redfin, in some cases, if you've been taking care of them for a long time, your website, right? So this is what we call bottom of funnel, right? Now, the thing is, with realtor.com, Zillow Leads, or other sites like that, they usually have a really high referral partner agreement where you're gonna have to give them 30, 40%, or you have to pay. And it's usually in our area, if I wanted to go all in with realtor.com, it's $200 a lead. And that's expensive when I'm looking at Google. I mean, I just looked at my stats this morning, $13 a lead for Google, right? That's not bad. I mean, what, we might put in a $10 million offer today on Google after what's the date today? The 26th, we got August 1st. That's pretty sick. I mean, what, a $250,000 paycheck on a $13 lead, right? So this is why I stick right in the middle. As good as, if you've got your systems down, Realtor.com and Zillow leads are, right? The middle is the sweet spot for us and for a lot of parts in the country. So pay attention to that. And when you have, if you're going to go all in on Google, you've got to have the systems to follow up. So whether it's built into whatever CRM, like Chime, if you've got the built-in CRM portion of it through smart plans, where as soon as somebody comes in, they get a text, or you get a ding saying, hey, you got the lead, call them up, or they get an email, right? You can have them built in, or you don't have Chime, you don't want to go through that route, you can use Agent Legend. Agent Legend is just drips. That's all they are. And you have to create them, and then you have to tie them to a CRM. So the CRM, as soon as it gets a lead, it dings Agent Legend, and now the system starts. They get a text, they get a voicemail, they get a video email, all this stuff, right? And then it shuts off when they respond. Same with Chime. Now, the thing with that is they're there to help capture the lead's engagement first, right? It's not going to, no matter what you're using technology-wise, it's not going to replace you picking up the phone and calling them, right? And so the challenge when you're picking up the phone and calling them is the approach. A lot of the times we want to be like, oh, you want to purchase right now? How can I help you? You want to see homes this weekend? Maybe today? That doesn't work like that. They're far off sometimes, right? And so you're looking for their motivation first, right? First, you're seeing how you can help them. You're seeing how you can, my call's easy, Randy. I call them up and I'm like, hey, Randy, it's Tristan. You just visited our website through Google or through Facebook, whatever they came through. And I'm like, look, I know you're probably not purchasing anything anytime soon, but I don't want to spam you either. So can you tell me what you're looking for? Like what areas specifically? And with that, I've given them the control. Notice the tonality too. I come off not aggressive. I'm giving them the control to say, well, Tristan, yeah, I'm not purchasing anytime soon, maybe next year. And I'm also giving them the control to say, well, no, Tristan, you're wrong because I am looking right now, which is what happens quite often with Google Leads. Like what happened with us with the other one. Said, no, we are looking right now. I'm like, cool. But I gave them that control because the last thing they want to lose is that control, right? Mm-hmm. So now we go through and like, oh, awesome. Well, I'm just looking. Tristan, I'm just looking. Oh, awesome. You know what? I love looking. I don't know when I'm going to be able to afford a home on the beach in Malibu, but we look every weekend. So I don't blame you. If you were going to move, what area out here? Do you want to be closer to the beach or maybe up in the mountains with a view? What are you thinking? And they're like, oh, well, you know, if we're going to move there, we want to be close to Pepperdine University because our son's going to go there in a year and a half. So we're just planning ahead, maybe getting a condo. Awesome. So he's in 11th grade right now, right? Yeah, he's in 11th grade and we're out and you ask questions based on what they're saying and find their motivation, right? Because it almost feels like you're listening to them just by saying the last thing that they just said. Repeat it, and then find their motive. They'll lead you to their motivation if they're ready. And the biggest mistake is this. You think that every lead is going to lead into something. It's not. It's not. Mm-hmm. Your job is to find the ones that are and let go of the ones that aren't. Because you have your systems in place through dynamic ads and your nurturing processes to take care of the ones that are not ready now. And will they ever be ready? I don't know. But I certainly want to focus on the ones that are ready right now or close to right now, right? So we can go into systems even more, but I want to go into tech more. So Facebook.
Let me give you a quick shout out, Tristan. I want to give you a quick shout out because I had a client message me yesterday. For y'all who don't follow Tristan closely, we did a webinar maybe a couple of weeks ago, last week, time flies, about building specific smart plans. Building smart plans for Google Leads specifically. And I had a client message me yesterday that she used the smart plan that you shared on that webinar, got a Google lead in the yesterday afternoon, used your smart plan, used your script, and is going to list the lead's house tomorrow and helping them buy as well.
Dude, I love that. And it's all on the approach at the beginning, right?
Love it.
I love that. Yeah, I think we come across too aggressive or almost too needy, like, ooh, we need to make this happen. Kind of like commission breath, right? And it comes across in text, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what
Yeah.
that would be in text. That wouldn't be commission. What would that be in text?
I don't know.
Not commission breath. We'll come up with a term
Yeah.
on the way to the end here. All right, so let's go into also some of the tech that we use for video conferencing. Yeah, there's Zoom. Zoom's been good to us. I'm not going to complain. What we did at the very beginning of COVID, I think it was literally week 2, because we were paying attention. We said, hey, let's shift all of our in-person first-time buyer home presentations to online. So the first thing we did is we built out a Facebook business page with our new logo just for first-time home buyers, right? And it's called Buyers Academy. Let me see if I can find it to share it with you, because I know some of you may be having questions as to how to do this and what to do, because we've had such a great success on this. Let me see, Buyers Academy. There it is. Sometimes it doesn't populate because Facebook just changed up everybody's Facebook. Here it is. Perfect.
Yeah, I was not ready for that.
Yeah, everybody's
new Facebook layout.
Yeah, new Facebook layout. So it's giving me a little bit of issues here, but that's fine. All right, so this is what we built out. We built this second week, and we said, well, you know what? This is kind of cool. Why don't we go all in with this and take a look at what we can do? And what we did is, because we were prepared, hold on, let me see here. We were able to run these online ads and say, hey, we're having an online buyer, first-time home buyer seminar, or online first-time home buyer seminar on Sunday at 12. Join us, right? And I put $100 behind it. The first one was a failure. I had one person, right? And they left halfway through. I was like, oh, this is terrible. I was like, this is not good. But I tweaked it. I'm like, what did we do wrong, right? So I paid attention. I realized what we did wrong. I changed it up. And the second one we did, we had 41 people show up. Massive difference, right? And from there, we started working with people that were looking to buy right now. And so we built out a whole presentation. Let's see if I have it so you guys can get an idea. We built out a whole presentation just for that. Yeah, there it is. We themed it the same thing, Buyers Academy. And then we kind of started off with this. Hey, there's 14 points. We had our lender involved in this. So he'd have his little lender section, right? And then we'd all take turns. We had 4 total people on this taking turns, and it was a massive success. And so it gives you an idea of what you can and can't do here, but we loved it, dude. That to us was a big push at the very beginning of people coming in, because buyers were trying to figure out, the ones that were looking to buy were trying to figure out, well, how do I buy in this market, right? And we gave them that solution. So look at that, because people are still looking to go online even more, because a lot of them don't know that homes are selling like hotcakes in most areas. In our area, things are selling multiple. I mean, we had 28 offers on a property for $800,000 just last week. 28 offers. I had to cut it off in 3 days. So those are some of the things on that end that we're doing. So Zoom, we use Zoom for that. We connected it to Facebook, right? And then as soon as they would leave their information through a lead ad, then we call them up and say, hey, Randy, notice you signed up for our buyers, our first-time home buyers seminar on Sunday. I just want to make sure I have your right email address, right? Because I want to send you the link to Zoom. We could have connected it to Eventbrite so it automatically sends it out, but we didn't, because I wanted to pick up the phone and confirm it, right? So then Randy's like, oh yeah, that's my email address. Awesome, Randy. Do you also want me to send you some homes in the area that you came in at, or what area are you looking in? And then they're like, oh yeah, can you set me up for, and also this price point? And I'm like, awesome. You're looking at making a move maybe at the end of the year or beginning of next year. What are you thinking? You know, maybe next year. We're not sure. I'm like, oh yeah, what's going to happen next year? And they're like, well, we're thinking of maybe moving because my wife's going to get a raise or something, whatever. I'm finding the motivation, right? That's the point. Because we always forget to ask, well, what's happening whenever they say, oh, 6 months from now? Well, what's happening 6 months from now? And you should shut up and listen because they'll tell you what's happening. All right. So we love that. We love Blue Jeans. We used to use Blue Jeans a lot. Skype still works. Here's something I learned from Ryan Serhant so Ryan comes on to Lab Codes like every 3 months. We interview him. His last one, he said something and I was like, dude, that's brilliant. He says, we have so many challenges when we text people, when we talk to people over the phone, instead of going to them in person. He goes, but right now during COVID, we can't. And so the way that I solve a lot of these emotions that come out during a challenging negotiation time, whether it's inspection or whatever, he says, I pick up the phone and I FaceTime them. And I thought, dude, that's so easy. Why the hell did I think of that? That's so good. He's like, yeah. He's like, when I FaceTime them, all of a sudden they see me, I see them. They're no longer an angry texter, right? And you've all had angry texters.
Keyboard confidence.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. It's different when they see you. They're not going to be more prone to yelling at you on the phone or getting a little bit out of hand. They're fully focused on you, right? Mm-hmm. When you're FaceTiming them. And I thought that is so good in so many different levels, right? And so I thought that's awesome. So that's a good point that I learned early on with this. And then video apps, things that make it a lot easier for us to record video so that we're able to use it on social media. Vlog Easy, VLOG and Easy, EASY. Vlog Easy has been such a great, simple app. What it does is you pop it up and you let it record you as you're talking, blah, blah, blah. Hey, check me out. I'm at this house or doing blah, 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 whatever. It edits it for you at the end and it cuts out all those little silent moments and those little moments where you're like, when you're trying to think what to say sometimes, right? It cuts those all out for you and it makes it a little cool, awesome video, like kind of like a YouTuber, right? So I love that one. It's super easy to use. The other one that I love, what is it? Vlog? Yeah, Vlog Easy. That's the one. The other one's BombBomb. I love the people at BombBomb. They're always making it better, right? I love that because you can shoot it. One thing I love about it, you can use it too. Record, grab the link. You record it from your phone. Grab the link and text it to people, right? That's what you do. That's why I love it. The other one is Big View. You may have heard of it. It's BIGVU. And Big View is just a teleprompter. So you pop up your phone right in front of you, you type up everything you want to say, right? And then you click go and it's like, oh, and then you're just reading it. Hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And you can't screw that up unless you can't read. And so as soon as you're done, it records that whole thing for you. It told you what to say because you typed it. And now at the end, you grab that same verbiage that you used and it becomes the captioning. I'm like, oh, that's super cool, right? So that was a big plus. Big View is really good, BIGVU. And then Vemly, VEMELY. Vemly is one I've been using for a year. And it allows you to, I don't know if any of you have seen the Gary V videos where he has like it's like a title at the top and then a title at the bottom and then the video's in the middle. You can type in whatever you want, like a subheading or a heading, right? So this allows you to make your video so that it has a heading at the very top and a heading at the bottom. Super easy. You'll be done in like 10 seconds. Just type it up. And then it's ready. You can post it onto Instagram. You can post it onto wherever. So if you're delivering any type of marketing message or message, easy to use. I like those. And then newsletters. Newsletters have been doing really well for us for the people that are in our sphere, like people that know us, past clients, friends, family, sphere, like really close people. We find that newsletter really keeps them coming back. And I'm not talking about spamming them with, I just listed or check out the rates, right? It's more like letting them know what's going on in the neighborhood locally, and also telling them what you're doing. I think one of the things we take for granted is that other people want to know what we're doing and what suggestions we have for them. Like, hey, you should be reading this. Or, hey, I found this great article that I found really interesting. Take a look at this, right? By the way, like there's Randy. Oh, well, Kelly, I'm not sure if you're part of this, but I have a newsletter called A Brilliant Tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I've got 52,000 people on it. And I just started it in December. So I don't even know, we're in August, 9 months ago. And in it, the Tuesday email that I send out is what I'm reading, what I'm watching, what I just bought, what I'm working on, right? And what I'm reading in book and article. And I just give you a little short excerpt, and you can click on what I'm reading, and it takes you to the book that I'm reading, so you can buy it too. It takes you to the article I'm reading, so you can watch it too, or the podcast I'm listening to. And also shows you what I'm buying. And then, so it shows you that I just buy a whole bunch of crap that I don't need, but it shows you, right?
Tristan
So the
loves
point
tchotchkes.
is, so I have so much crap. And so the cool thing is, because I curate it, right? I get such a high open ratio on it. And I'm trying to, for me personally, I'm trying to help people grow in leadership, right? So you can apply that in real estate and say, well, what message do you want to deliver? And have it be something similar, right? And then all of a sudden, because you're putting so much real value into this, people can connect with you and say, oh, this is real. This isn't that normal crap that I get in the email all day long. So we use MailChimp and Active Campaign, but you can try it. MailChimp, it's, I think, free up to 2,000 people, I think. And or use Constant Contact, whatever you want. Now, look, I don't know what's going to happen with forbearance. I don't know if we're going to see a large amount of foreclosures or even short sales come up next year. It looks like that number is coming down more than we originally thought, which is good. But I still think we're going to see some come up. And so we're preparing our team ahead of time. And we've got a website that we're using now called Realty Track. It's Realty, like real estate, Realty, and then Track is spelled TRAC. Realty Track, where we get all the information for defaults or notice of defaults. But Kelly, can your office provide that or no?
Yes, so we're able to provide a notice of election and demand that the counties provide to us. So we do distribute that to our customers that ask for that.
So I would, look, if you're on this, I would definitely go to Kelly and start asking for that. Mm-hmm. Maybe getting it once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to start preparing for this. Because like I told you at the very beginning, your reticular activating system grabs onto whatever you're focusing on and it filters it, right? So if you want to focus on something, put it in front of you a lot more continually in different aspects and different forms. So I would definitely go to Kelly. And Kelly, everybody knows how to get a hold of you here, right?
I think so. If not, just reach out to your local rep.
All right, cool. All right, so there's that. Now, there's also other tools that we use that have been really helpful for us in bringing back people to engage with us, right? Besides Dare, what's now called Real Estate Ads, we also have things like HomeBot. I don't know if you guys have heard of HomeBot. HomeBot's a really inexpensive tool you can use that allows sellers to take a look at how much equity they have in their home, and it lets them know what the value of their home is, but it engages them real time. And it has a little version of an AI bot that helps them continually see the updated version of this and connects with them. So that's, I think it's like, I don't know, it's less than $50. And it's such a good little tool. HomeBot's really cool. You can also use Altos Research. That isn't automated, but I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of Altos. It just gives you deep information as to certain areas. And we use that to send it over to our clients. And we use a company called Conversion Monster as well. Randy, I need to connect Conversion Monster to Chime. Okay. So I need to connect both of you guys, because what they typically do, we just switched over to Chime, by the way, if you're wondering why I did that. I haven't had it before. But Conversion Monster works like this, because I know a lot of us are busy. actually prospecting and going out with clients, showing property, doing listing presentations, whatever we're doing. Conversion Monster takes care of the leads that are coming into our system. So as soon as a lead comes through, they engage with it or try to engage with it and nurture it for 11 months by phone call, email, and text. And they're located in New York. So they're all here, right? I know that's what's one concern for a lot of people. So that's why I love Conversion Monster. So I need to connect that, Randy.
Actually, I think I had a conversation with them last month. I got them our API documentation, so they should be working on it.
Oh yeah,
I think put a bug in their ear because they'll move faster when you tell them to.
I'm texting them now. Did you connect with Chime? Question mark. All right, cool. All right, so go ahead.
I do want to say we're almost out of time. And I want to give you two the final words, but I have to tell everyone first about the special deal that I strong-armed Tristan into. So this is
you did strong-arm me because I don't do this at all. So
this is not a service that he offers, right? So this is pretty special. I'm excited about it because I haven't heard of this happening before, but ultimately. For this week only, if you take a look at Chime and decide it's the right piece of technology for your business and you sign up with us this week, we will pay for you to have a 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with Tristan. And he'll touch on really whatever you need to when it comes to using Chime or using technology or whatever it is or strategy. He obviously knows what he's talking about, and that's something that's going to be included with Chime if you get set up this week. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to your contact at First American, and they'll make sure that y'all get the proper setup.
Yeah, all right, sign up for Chime, guys. I don't want to lose my momentum. I want to show you one other thing before I lose my train of thought. Okay, so we all have a challenge with social media and in posting and content. So I created this calendar. So if you sign up, we'll go into it a little deeper. Can you see the calendar, or am I not showing anything?
Yes.
I can see it.
All right, perfect. I don't know if it's got the rest of my screen on there, but whatever. So what I did is I outlined it so you can remember it as an acronym, and I love acronyms. So if you're part of a Brilliant Tribe, the newsletter, I drop acronyms like every week. And this one is STAY, which is sell, teach, advice. You, it's stay. It spells out stay, right? You want people to stay on your social media. So I try to make it as easy as possible for you. You can apply this to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything you want. How do I know? Because I've done this lots of times and I teach on this. So sell, I'll just go through one round of stay so you can understand, but sell is easy. We do this every day, right? We're like, hey, I just got a new listing. Oh, I just helped a buyer, right? That's easy. We do that all day long, but we need to mix it up with other things like teach how housing prices are determined, what's going on in the market, right? And the key is understanding how much time you have for each social media outlet, and it differs, all right? So I don't have time to go into it now. Next one is advice. Here's where it can come back to you as to the things that you love. It could be a simple quote. It could be something you're thanking somebody, or you could go in a little deeper and give advice. Like one of my agents loves gardening, and I say, why don't you just tell people how to garden? Because I don't know how to garden. I mean, I have problems with my plants everywhere and they die. So can you give me like a quick tip? Right? And she's like, yeah. So she does that now. That's her advice. And then lastly is you, where you're eating, what you're doing, what you love doing. It could even be part of hobby. It could be, hey, where you grew up, or your first house, or me walking in the park, me hiking, me look at my dog, look at my cat, whatever. Right? And then you start all over. Right? So I outlined it for one a day. I know that I post 10 times a day. So I would finish this calendar in a day and a half or 2 days in some cases. But if you're starting slow, one a day is fine, and pick the social media outlet that you're already on, that you're least afraid of to post. And believe it or not, there are some days I pick up the camera and I'm like, I don't feel like doing a video, right? Right? It's part of life. That's why I love doing interviews, because it's so much easier. I gain strength from Kelly and Randy. I'm like, let's go. But when it's me by myself, I'm like, what do I say? Should I take off my hat? Should I leave my hat on? And believe it or not, it's the whole thing back to the beginning. It's mindset, right?
Yep.
So, all right, that's what I wanted to leave you with. Sign up for Chime, and I'll coach you one time, 30-minute. I don't do this at all. The last time I was coaching, I was charging $4,000 an hour. And I was like, this is just too much. Now that I'm running Lab Code Agents, I'm running a Brilliant Tribe, I'm running my team, I have a brokerage, it's just too much. So I put that way behind me until Randy called me and said, do it. I was like, okay. All right, Kelly, back to you.
Thank you so much, Tristan, and thanks for that great offer. For those of you on the call, please reach out to your First American sales rep. We will get you connected to Chime and get you set up on those free coaching sessions this week. You know how to get a hold of us. You can always go to our website as well. But thank you, Tristan, for your wonderful advice. I certainly appreciate that mindset reminder. It is so hard right now to stay in that positive mindset. And so I write myself little sticky notes all over, like it's going to be okay. And, you know, celebrate those small victories each day and be grateful, right? Start that gratitude journal. I got to do all those things right now. And that also helps your friends and your colleagues, right? And your family on keeping that positive attitude. So let's be that positive source for everybody right now. Tristan, thank you so much for getting us in on your busy schedule.
Thanks, appreciate it. That was fun. I'm putting up the link there for a Brilliant Tribe. It's free. It's a free newsletter. Goes out 3 times a week, and everybody loves it.
Awesome. Thank
Randy,
you.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Anything you want to add?
Just real quick, got a question. If this was recorded, they'd love to share it with your team. Please reach out to your First American sales rep to let them know you want a recording. They'll contact me. I'll get it to you, and we're golden.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
I'll take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.